How's it going, everyone? Dauntless Tanker here, and I hope everyone is having a good day. Today I'm going to be playing one of my favorite Tier 10 tanks in the game, the 113. Now, it's one of my favorite tanks for two reasons. One, for a heavy tank, the mobility is quite nice, and two, the gun. It doesn't have the best handling or accuracy by any means, but the rate of fire and the ability to put up pretty good rolls consistently is pretty awesome. And it allows you to play as sort of an aggressive medium tank and lead the charge, which is a lot of fun. You have more armor than medium tanks and more HP, and if you can get up in there, you can really do a lot of damage. Now, I run coated optics on my 113, and this allows me to uh, pretty much outspot any medium tank or heavy tank in my tier, even with my low camouflage values, or if I'm not able to outspot them anyway, I'm at least able to be on par with them and not just be taking blind fire constantly. So that's really nice. Um, Thank you all to everyone who subscribed recently. I really appreciate the support. I did take into consideration all of your comments, and I went ahead and actually changed the intro, as you noticed. It's a little bit shorter, it's a little bit tighter. Hopefully you guys like it. Go ahead and leave a comment below if you don't, if you like the original better, if you think it needs to be changed. Again, I'm really open to criticism at this point because I'm just starting this channel and I want it to be original, organic, and ultimately entertaining for you guys to watch. So anyway, we'll dive right into some gameplay here. Somebody in the comments earlier asked if I would go ahead and analyze the teams before I start the commentary. So I'm going to go ahead and do that right now, and I'll go ahead and tell you exactly what I do for the 30-second countdown when I go into a game. So first things first, we are playing on the southern base of Prokhorovka, if that's how you pronounce it. I'm really bad with names like this. Anyway, first thing I will notice is colors using XVM. Now over here on the enemy team, first concern, obviously you want to start with the top and work your way down. Biggest threat to me right here is this 110. He's blue, he's a good player, and I want to know where he's going to be above everything else here. Being a good player, he's probably not going to go into these magical woods over here. Not a lot of good players do, and my best bet is that he's going to be pressing into this E6 or E6 or EO area, very common areas for him to be, as well as this T44 and RU251, who are also very competent players. The RU is most likely going to be in these woods spotting or in the middle spotting, but again, he's a light tank, he's not really a big deal to me, and this T44, you know, not a very powerful tank, so again, just because they're low tier, really not priority. So the first thing, again, I do is check to see colored, high colored players using XVM. And then I'll compare that with our players and see if we have good players. And again, we have this blue 140, and my platoon mate, he's green, but he's also a very good player. And I have trust in him that he will have my back when I need it. And I'm assuming that between the three of us, we'll be able to handle anything on the hill and anything in the middle. So I'm relatively at ease as to where to go. I usually completely forget the 1-2 line on this map. So again, first thing to do is to check which tanks are very good players, worry more about the high tier over the low tier, and figure out how to play. Second thing I will notice is, again, their top tier vehicles without using XVM. And this is where, if it was a city map, you would want to really worry about if they had a bunch of E100s just like really clustered up in the city, or a lot of medium tanks, for instance, on an open map, and you might avoid going to a certain, you know, pushing hill on mines or something like that if you immediately see that there are a lot of medium tanks or a lot of fast tanks that might beat you there or kill you in the process of trying to get there. So again, second thing is to check what kind of high tier vehicles there are and what type they are. And last but not least, I always check to see the artillery. Fortunately for this map, there was only one artillery, and it's the Bat Chat. This guy, 45%er, he's not going to be hitting me a lot, and I'm not too concerned about it. Red players generally, from what I know, don't really XVM snipe too much, so I'm not really going to be concerned about him or trying to dodge him by any means. And so I can play either the hill or the middle. And without artillery really bombarding me, the middle is preferable, only because if the e5 pushes the hill right here, I'll be able to easily counter him by shooting up. And if he is in the middle, I'll still be able to keep lighting him for our guys up on the hill. The second choice, if there was a lot of good artillery players, I would definitely push the hill just to avoid that. But because the 113 is a heavy tank with poor camouflage values, if I do get lit up on the hill, I will get lit up. So anyway, let's get started with some gameplay here. So again, after analyzing the map, at first I was like, should I go hill? But then Matt, who I'm playing with here, said, no, let's not go hill. We'll go into the middle of the map. So right off the bat, I push up into the middle, and you know, if you're in a fast tank, sometimes you can get some shots into this area, but the 113 having very bad gun depression, relatively speaking, and the fact that I'm not really fast enough to get up there immediately, I really can't do it. So with a slower tank like this, what I do is right up to where this 140 is pushing, I'll usually peek up and aim to the side like this. And sometimes tanks like this, T-44, are very aggressive and kind of peek out too much, hoping to do the exact same thing that I would do if I was in a fast tank. And if you're lucky, you can track them, or you can at least put a nice juicy shot into their side. So just right off the bat, that's something that you can do just to get some free damage. You know, 462 damage right off the bat within the first 30 seconds of the game is quite nice. So from this position here, you know, as long as you stay relatively low, you're not going to be hit by arty. And you're going to be able to get shots up on this hill. Now, if you notice what I'm doing here is my render range is right at the edge of the map right here, if you can see on the right on the 0 line. I don't want to be any closer than this because in the case that I get lit, I want to be at the max render distance to where I can easily back up and avoid getting shot. And another reason I do this is because if you look at the map here, there's a little bit of a hill that I'm on, right on this edge. And if I drive up this hill, it allows me to see over this area of the tracks and get shots, opposed to if I was driving into this area, I would have very little chance of seeing over here unless I drove way up here, which exposes me to their guns, exposes me to being lit. And I really don't want to be lit in this tank, because if I get hit by arty, or in the side, I'm probably going to get my ammo rack taken out, which is really not the best. So here we go. I got lit, and so I immediately turned my frontal armor towards the hill, because the frontal armor of this tank, as long as the lower plate is not hit, it's very, very strong. So what I do is, you know, get ready to shoot. I tell my team that I need some eyes up on the hill, and immediately I get to shooting. I aim for the M103 because he is a good player, and I know I have a much higher chance of penetrating his big soft turret than I do the E5. At this kind of distance, it is a little bit up to RNG to see if you can hit them. You know, obviously part of it is leading your targets. The 113's gun does have a little bit of delay because it shoots AP and not APCR, but you know, as long as you lead your targets and aim right, and again, stay far enough back to where you can have the elevation to shoot over the tracks, you will be able to put in some good shots. And again, that 103 is a big juicy target, so fortunately I was able to put 3 shots into him and force him to back off. And again, right there, I saw that he was the E5 was turning his turret, so I went ahead and fired and was able to put one into his side. Now here I have a choice. Do I shoot the E5 or the light tank? The light tank isn't the best player, but he was lighting our hill, so I chose to prioritize him over the almost dead E5, just because I knew he was most likely going to die soon. But unfortunately, I missed, and here I actually tell Matt, sorry 140 for ramming you, but I told Matt, okay, you know what? We're going to push over the tracks right here, and we're going to hug this area, just because I already know the majority of the tanks that haven't been lit are over in this area. So as long as we can push into here, we can take out this IS-3 and kind of just take this entire side of the map. So that's what I do. Peek around this corner, and immediately I spot Type 4 Heavy. I aim at the side of its turret. Very strong armor apparently, because it just didn't go through, or maybe I hit a little bit low. But I switched to my heat rounds. Now, what you see me doing here is aiming for the corner of his upper hull, where there are little tiny, not exactly sure what they're called, I guess shoulders to its armor. And if you can hit it, you can effectively hit flat armor which allows it to go through. And something else that you're not able to see because the replays are bugged right now, but I'm actually getting all the assist damage for what that tank is getting hit for. And you'll see later on when I post the post-game stats that I actually do get quite a bit of assist damage for doing this. So I realize that these two are the only tanks here. If I sit still, I'm just going to be open to artillery fire. So I'm going to be very aggressive and push. What I did here, it was kind of reckless, but I just kind of thought, screw it. You know, I did leave my backside vulnerable to him once I did it, which would have allowed him to possibly ammo rack me again, but at this point I just thought, screw it, I'm going to jump over him. So I did, and it worked. The 113, because it's a fast tank and it is decently armored, you are able to get away with some nice rams if you do it right. You obviously don't want to ram an E100 or something like that, but you know, it's not the worst thing to ram lower tier tanks, or especially medium tanks. You can do some good damage if you hit them hard enough, because this tank can get up to speed. So normally when I'm playing this area, I would push over to this side and not right here because I don't want to risk being hit. They usually don't expect you to come from the right, but I knew that leopard was running and I really wanted to chase him down. So what you'll see here is I know there's a lot of tanks in the magical woods, so I immediately take a left and get into some cover. I peek over this ridge. I really want to take out this leopard because he's lighting me. I peek around the corner and I'm able to put a nice shot into him. Again, didn't finish him off, but easy ram kill right there with that momentum. Now what I want to do here is I want to push this T-30 just because I don't want to take any more shots into the side. Lost my loader there, but no problem. Get around to his side and shoot. And now I know the T-30 is reloaded, but as long as I can turn my front to him, he's probably not going to be able to pen me like you just saw. So now I know I can reload fast enough to hit him again before he reloads, and I leave him on 13. So guess what I do this time? I'm going to go ahead and just bump into him because I know I can just finish him off like that. Now, what I do here is I know the last spot I spotted the grill was just right in the A3 area. I'm expecting a shot from that direction, so I drive towards it hoping to, yep, there it is. I know there's a depression right here, forcing him to shoot my upper plate, and I'm really trying to just spot him here for the team. I know the grill's not reloaded quite yet, so I can afford to turn my armor towards that Panther and put a shot into him. Meanwhile, I'm spotting all these tanks for our team, by the way, and there you go, there's the grill. He's not really paying any attention to me. I go ahead and put a nice juicy round into him. And something that you'll see me do, and a lot of good players do, is actually when they shoot, the second they shoot, they actually unzoom their reticle. And this is really nice. This is something that I think everybody should get in the habit of doing because it prevents you from tunnel visioning. The second you fire the trigger, it's not going to affect where the bullet's going to go. So what you want to do is go ahead and fire and zoom out just to get a look to see if there's anything around you that you might need to point your armor towards. So again, just a little tip, but great to get into the habit of. Easily finished off the Panther, and then go ahead and finish off this, or like this bat chat anyway. So anyway, I'm just messing up this replay here. 113, awesome tank. Again, if you are able to put on recon and situational awareness and then mount optics instead of ventilation, you're able to really get that great vision on the enemy. As you can see on the mini map, my view range is completely maxed out right here. I think it's at like 460 something. And because of that, in a map like this, I'm able to use my good frontal armor and push hard into the forest towards the end of the game and get that extra 3,000–4,000 assist damage on top of the already 6,500 damage that I picked up. So this is a very good game to show you the strengths of the 113. A lot of tanks wouldn't be able to do this. Possibly the Soviet tanks, especially the IS-7, just because it's fast, and the T-62A and the 140 might be able to pull it off. But when I was being shot at by the grill earlier, I bounced, I think it was 2 shots off of him, as well as a T-30, and a T-62A probably would have died right there. So that great slope that the 113 has allows me to really bounce a lot of shots effectively, as well as the mobility that gets me there. So it is kind of a unique tank in that sense, to where fast tanks that are heavies like the AMX-50B just wouldn't be able to do this. So that's why I love this tank. A lot of people don't, but if you play it right and again exploit your strength, which is good upper hull armor, great mobility, and very good alpha for a fast tank, play it like a big fat medium tank, push where you know the medium tanks are going to be, and you can bully the crap out of them. And if you play in a wolf pack, you can really get some great damage and really be the spearhead of your team. It does have better power to weight ratio, I believe, than the IS-7. So when you're going up hills and you're actually trying to use your traverse, I believe it is more mobile than the IS-7. So it is kind of the alpha medium in a sense, and that's why I really enjoy it. I actually have another gameplay of the 113 that I had right before this game that really showcases how you can be that aggressive medium tank, and I will hopefully be able to upload it for you guys tomorrow. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this gameplay. I had a lot of fun playing this game with my buddy. I think he got like 4,000 damage or something like that, and we ended up getting brother in arms, so awesome results like that are always fun. Anyway, if you like this replay, please let me know down below what you think about it. If you think it's an improvement over my other videos, go ahead and give it a like if you do, and subscribe to my channel. So anyway, guys, hope you have a good one, and I'll see you later.